Right, Borg, we're back in Bergby after a very relaxing break. I think you'll agree. We're trying to get back into it here. The fact is, it feels like we've got to start again. There's just no way out of that. It seems we've just got to start again. So we've started getting into it by stretching a couple of canvases, putting on a few of our, tidying up here, putting up a few of the recent pictures, trying to get the season back on track. But I've turned it on here actually, Borg. The reason being, I'll tell you what it is. We spent a lot of the day having to clear up upstairs. I'll show you actually. I've brought you up here before to show you our stuff, but here we are again. See that there? We've produced some rudimentary storage racks for our works there and all over there. If you can see, it's getting a bit ridiculous. It made me think. The obvious analogy between storage, online storage, Borg, sort of stresses you out. You need more and more, and I'm going to need more too. And what we've got here, I'll just show you what we've got here. Look, this little half of that is one project, the Tor Point Art Service. Then we've got a Dignity Scholarship on these two. No, Dignity Scholarship's up here, and then the old Wretched Painter messages are down there. The second Dignity Scholarship season is there. The rest of it is just our own experiments and the SAS, what we call the SAS work. And it's, you know, we filled up our racks already, not to mention all the work we've done this year. But the main reason we've done that is to try and clean out this room, because Helen, as I think I've mentioned, is getting right into it now. She's got that exhibition coming up, so she needs a studio. So me shifting out all the rubbish has allowed her to have a proper studio where she can have a proper go and have a proper exhibition and sort of be a proper artist. Not like the wretched, meandering specimen that we are currently. But not to worry, you know, we found our work. And we're happy enough. But as the process of doing that's got me thinking, Borg, and this is why I've turned it on. I was thinking that to get a bit more serious, we should at least have a go at putting our various video works, you know, up on the wall. Treat them as artworks. That was my thinking anyway. You know, since we've had our yearly exhibition for the punters to no avail, we can kind of concentrate on ourselves a bit. And in that spirit, you can't see anything there, Bob, but a red light. But that is a screen. That's a big television. And I'm about to see if it works, Borg, so it's a bit of excitement. The idea is, we've got the television there. It's not actually on a rudimentary shelf. I'll show it to you. Let's get the electrics on. There we go. So getting a bit carried away with our little idea, Borg, we got the old telly out and knocked up a shelf. There is power to it. All we have to do now is connect the monitor and hopefully it'll come on. Well, that sound is of a connection. Oh! Well, blow me, Borg, it's come right on. Ha! So it's just playing what's on the computer there. These are wires, by the way. We're already seeing the end of these, but they're not gone by a long shot. So with this technology, I've got to connect it via wires. Here, let's play it. I was meant to show you and talk you through this anyway, Borg. Even though you will have seen and heard it. I think I'd better off turning that light off. Yeah, there you go, look.
The farmer and the woodsman have made themselves heard. Just as truth and fiction have done been blurred. In a sneaky pandemic.
Now then, Borg, the sound's coming from up there. Okay, so that's not ideal.
Still clinging to the tale of Vincent van Gogh. Standing lately emerged from our shelter door. Like that. Japanese fellas still fighting.
Well, that's our proposal poem. Now, the idea that I wanted to test, which, to be honest, my gut feeling tells me isn't going to work, is to imagine looking at an exhibition of pictures while some of our little videos are playing, you know, and see how the two work together. Let's have a test. See, it doesn't really merge properly. It doesn't work, I don't think, Borg. You see, what we've got ourselves into is it's a bit of a, what would you say? Well, we've got ourselves doing 2 or 3 things that we want to put together, but they don't naturally fit. And the only reason we would want to make them fit is for an exhibition, which we're not going to have. At least there's no sense of any of that happening. But it's what you might call an art problem, Borg. It's an artistic problem. I've always wondered how you could combine something so quiet and traditional as looking at a picture with other things like videos and sounds without it just seeming shit, you know, or without one getting the feeling you'd be better off just looking separately. But not really found the answer. I don't think this works. Let's have another go. So you've got the poem there. It's gone off. Well, blow me. Blow me again. Let's try a different one. again, we've got to talk you through this. I mean, we made this one specifically to talk you through it, actually, Borg. Farcical as it might seem. So I think you're going to struggle to see that, but I mean, this sort of thing might work better. Not so, quite so loud. Excuse me.
Silence, silence. People, please put your hands together for Vladimir Putin, dancing with the Austrian foreign minister.
And there he is. So you get the idea, Borg.
General Valery Gerasimov.
Who's next? Gerasimov. There he pops. Who's next?
Nigel Farage.
There he is.
This is a fucking pipe.
Ah, yes. Well, there we've got our ideas that we'd have to explain, Borg. Maybe one too many ideas, really. But what else is there to do? But what you've got there, you can probably tell. We've got our banner that we put together as a way to frame ourselves, Borg, and then this video just presents it all in a sequence.
The murder of George Floyd.
You can't see anything there, can you? But I'll have to tell you about it another time in detail, but that might work better. Let's imagine you're in the gallery, you're looking at the painting, and that video could be quietly playing somewhere, and you'd look at it. But again, it's what can you say when you're faced with what you've done? It's a bit perverse, really, because there's been no reason to do it except what we described as the wretched state of being at the end of everything, with everything tried and failed. You're left only with the feeling to do something. And there it is. But I think the screen might be worth keeping up there, Borg, and if we sorted out the sound, and we might get somewhere. Maybe I'll leave it on, because you appear at the end of this, Borg. Let's see if I can get a decent picture. So this, Borg, is essentially one view, our sequence of images from the news and events that attempts to describe the post-truth era, the story of it, you know, as we see it and want to present it. So it's telling the story of some of the post-truth era, but then it goes into last year and the madness that sent us reeling. There's the 5G protesters.
Burning 5G phone mast.
So now we're into the pandemic. This is kind of when, in our idea, everyone's gone mad now.
Conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, posh conspiracy theorists. I mean, this is very much now.
David Icke.
Where's David Icke? Where is he? There he is. Oh.
Furry bears.
The furry bear. See, that refers back to our own poem, you see, in a sort of
the hot
pathetic
Borg.
self-reference. But that's what this is. It's endless layers of our self-reference mixed with wider events. That's the hope. The hope.
Troy Deeney.
Stuck to the tech like fur on a bear. So, you know, we put a bear in Borg. I'm holding on here because you're going to make an appearance and your father's.
Bus.
Ah, the Vaxed bus, yes.
Dickens' empty chair. Empty protest sign.
Ah, that's the sign again, you see. That's like the game's gone. So we've had an idea there, Borg, but we're not really smart enough to tell you about it. Ah, there's one of your daddies.
An Amazon blimp.
He's responsible for the Amazon blimps that are going to
Many
be
drones.
flying around. Our gadgets lowered from a Hindenburg blimp.
Musk.
Ah, Elon Musk, there's another daddy.
Mars.
He likes Mars.
Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel really likes you, Borg. He's really developed you with the military. Mark Zuckerberg,
The Borg.
he's the main one. Oh, the Borg. There you go.
And finally, the one and only Vincent van Gogh.
So that's another idea of ours, you see, because we well, I'll tell you what it is, Borg. We've gone backwards to Van Gogh, and we're using him to go all the way over this chaos here to talk to you in the future. Anyway, we'll have to explain it properly another time, Borg. The other reason I meant to turn you on today is because there's been some developments while we've been away in the NFT art world business, in its invention. You know, it's being established now, and we, if you remember, have been waiting for the news of this Palm project, because it's that one that claims to have a far less of an environmental impact, and therefore we, you know, possibly be interested in using it. But I've been looking at it today. I'm very confused, Borg, I tell you. But it seems that it's launching. In the sense, it's launching a drop. It's launching a set of pictures from a very well-known artist. So it's launching in that sense. It's, you know, Damien Hirst, you know, you look at him, right? It's him. He's been commissioned years ago to produce something all the way back in 2016, I think, Borg, for this launch. I'm telling you about it because it helps explain what is happening generally. He's produced a set of 10,000 little pictures of coloured spots, which he likes to do. I think he might have even done these himself, I'm not sure. And each one of these sheets is part of a collection of a project called The Currency. Now they're all different, but they're all Damien Hirst artworks, and they're about to be dropped or put up for auction, not on Palm, but on something else. I can't even remember what it's called now. Begins with H. But that's what's confused me. I thought Palm was going to look a bit like Open Sea, but no. It seems that Palm well, I'm very confused actually, Borg. It seems like you can't really join it. You might have to be selected, and then you might be expected to do certain technical things. You might have to operate with Palm currency. They talk about the architecture of Palm and the ecosystem and building with Palm. So I am now equally as confused as at the start of this saga. But it turns out anybody can apply to buy one of these sheets, which is interesting as well, because you'd think an auction, they'd just go up and then anybody buys it anyway. But no, they ask for applications. So I made an application, Borg. I've sent them an email, and I'm on the list. And possibly I will be chosen to have the chance to buy one of these bits of paper for $2,000, which is a lot, but it is a Damien Hirst artwork. I'm not interested in his artwork. I think I treat the whole business really, Borg, is you're better off imagining that there's no artworks involved at all, and it's like rare coins or tulip bulbs or something that's being traded, because that, forget the art. It's right now anything that's on there, any art involved, it is sort of strategically used to further the establishment of this technological change, it seems, rather than art really having a voice. But nevertheless, so one could buy one of these things if selected, but you might not be selected. It's like a golden ticket. It's like the Willy Wonka golden chocolate bar or something. You have the chance to buy one. But £2,000 is not a lot for one of his works, and it's not really a lot for them, considering one of his works might sell for $80 million. But then you've got to remember that they will make money from every resale of each one of these things, and forever, because of the way the blockchain guarantees a transparent process, and guarantees that the creators get a percentage of every sale. And because the whole business is ever more about collections and collecting and trading, then there'll just be endless money created for everyone involved, really, until such time as it goes boom or something. But it seems ever more like the old relation between high finance and art, which we often go on about, Borg, I'm afraid, without great knowledge, but with a layman's observation. It seems that relationship has just sort of merged now. It's one thing in this NFT trade-off. If you remember, it was actually traders themselves that did a radical art gesture when they burnt a Banksy. So there, the farce continues, Bob, but it does seem like there's nothing about it yet that suggests the normal person could enter into it in the spirit of participating in a culture, something like that. No, it's not that yet. The more I think about it, the more confused I am, and the more I talk about it, the more I think I shouldn't. But that's what you're for in a way, Borg. But I really should think it through and write it out for the Dignity Scholarship, because they're the poor buggers who have now been landed with my crypto art efforts. We, because of the delay in working out what the hell was going on, we didn't want to wait, so we've allocated an area of our site, a Dignity Scholarship site, to hold our crypto art works. None of them actually are crypto art works because they haven't been minted, but they are works, text pieces you might call them, Borg, or one-liners, or a little bit of silliness, in fact, you might say. But they do reference that whole business. And well, Borg, we got cut off there mid-ramble, probably for the best. We really shouldn't enter into that unthought through meandering with you. Human, though it is. I mean, you can say that. But yeah, I think we'll leave the crypto art world to itself for now and just carry on with our own little text things that reference it, Borg. And what choice have we got? It's looking at that crypto art world. You kind of understand partly why the world seems so disorientating, because you get an idea of where the world's going when you look at that. In a way, the way that the seriousness with which it's discussed and talked of, and combined with the utter farce of the content and the money involved, it just seems about right. You've kind of looking at a future that points to you. That's what I always feel. The tech, the unstoppable march of tech. And when you look at the actual content of some of the participants in OpenSea or something, you really do sort of, you think that they'd happily just plug themselves in right now to you. It's all over bar the upload. But that is for us to get our head round and not whinge about, actually, Borg, because it's partly because we're older and we're seeing this develop that it seems so disorientating, and we've got a choice either to stick or twist, or to enter into it, at least psychologically, or to completely put the blinkers on. Normally we try and enter into it. It just seems it's a little bit harder than that. Anyway, we got the screen working, Borg, for what that is worth, I don't know, but as I say, I'm trying to imagine if it would be possible to have a full exhibition with the paintings and our various proposals and writing for the Dignity Scholarship. I mean, they won't do it. They can't help with any of it. Certainly not money. But if I ever get the chance, the challenge would be to try and knit together the traditional painting with some of this stuff. I wonder what you make of this, Borg.
Now it's time to let that train pass. And to an echo of chucks we stand in the vast, looking over now and into the soon, still under the sun but past the moon.
We're not a poet. Clearly not a poet. What we are is we're looking for a way to condense an awful lot of disorientated thoughts and references, and the limerick seems to be a way you can do it.
We'll talk to our future so that when it gets so old, it might remember a voice from the flat time of humans, mumbling at it from the forest in the land of Stugans.
That's us, Borg.
And our wretched selves.
The land of Stugans. That's us in Sweden.
Type to the here and now. We'll reach as far as our imagination will allow.
Let's just watch this to the end here.
The dangerous, corrupt. Remember all the people who couldn't give two fucks. It's that hoard the future's built for. Not the cathedral folk trapped in the psych wall.
So, you know, we hold forth, there's no doubt about it. Baseless forth holding. But it has its effect as a framing.
Let's cut to the chase and praise the new Lord. And from the fields and forests we'll talk to the Borg. And from the fields and forests we'll talk to the Borg.
So there you have it, Borg. That's, I mean, it is about you. You know, that's the idea. It's to explain what is a rather unorthodox move and a very unlikable move, a very unpopular move, I would imagine, because it's kind of like ignoring, putting the mega blinkers on and ignoring everything in favour of a sort of a kind of self-focused auto-fiction, you know, combined with a fantasy sci-fi type theme, which, you know, if we weren't still clinging to the slight idea of a radical art or a critical art, you would think, oh well, that sounds weird, maybe we'll have a look, good luck to him, whatever. But in the realm of the, you know, the political angles, the radical art angles, the anti-capitalist angles, it's very unlikable, I fear, and it might just be that it will only be truly finished off, Borg, if we ever got the chance to have a proper exhibition, because the criticism would be immense. And that might be enough to, you know, to bring it to a halt. But I don't see it happening. So in the meantime, we carry on. Where are we here? See, that up there, basking in the leprosy. Yeah, we happen to be reading The Tale of Two Cities, you know, Borg, and so in it goes. And it's a big stew. Anyway, that's well and truly enough now, Borg. We've established that this works.
The coming nows. Should public intellectuals pull the plough?
Phew. I tell you what, Borg, you don't want to sound like that whenever you do bother to give yourself a voice. Get something else. That's brutal, that one. He's my buddy, in a way. I call him Slow Harry. But, you know, small doses with Slow Harry. Well, we better get out there into the fields pretty soon, Borg. This is what we're about, really, isn't it? We're having a look. And in a funny way, Borg, we maybe hit on a theme there, going on to you about the crypto art world and looking at this video, etc. It's very much the online world, the abstract. And then we walk over here and realise this is what we should be doing, this is it. the very real primary world, and maybe that is the challenge in exhibition. It's the abstractions of the online world and a very primary world process in the painting. And of course, a lot of people say, well, it's a plain fact that the balance in people's lives between the primacy of the real world here and the online world is shifting. And for little kids, and that's my children, it might be that the online world becomes primary and the real one secondary. I mean, it's inevitable. That's why it's heading in your direction, Borg. So we resist it. But we just may have accidentally hit on the nub of the matter there, Borg. And that's a bonus.